Hi guys, how's everyone doing? Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Hope everyone is doing well and you're ready to get this teaching on this afternoon. Hi, thank you for joining me. Hi. Hi Yatunde. Hey, how is everyone doing? Thank you for joining me this afternoon. And today I'm going to talk about our habits and how habits create structure, and structure needs to be a part of our lives in order for us to have a successful life. So I'm just going to wait and give a couple people some more time to jump in the room before I begin the teaching, because I'm probably not going to be repeating constantly. But I want to share this with you guys, and I titled this scope, it's a slang tip, A plus B equals C. So I'm going to explain to you what exactly these elements are and tell you how much your habits form a part of your life structure and your life structure forms a part of your life. Successful people do one thing. They have a successful day every day, and there's a measurement for this success. Sometimes we look at other people's measurement of success to determine what success really is. And in my new book, hey Lisa, in my new book, Purpose Diaries, I talk about how to activate your faith to experience success on your terms. Because there is no broadband measurement for success. There is no broad definition for success, but the success that you experience in your life is the success that is relevant to you and to your perspective. So sometimes we say, we look at other people's lives and we begin comparing, but you can't really compare processes. So you may look at someone else's process and look at someone else's development, and you would say to yourself that I really should be further than where I am. But what determines further? When you say I should be further in my life than where I am, what determines this further that you are relating to? Is it that you are relating being further in your life to someone else's process? Is it that because someone else is doing something, or you're looking at some outside entity to compare yourself to, that you are now comparing further in the sense of where someone else is? Let me give an example. You may be looking at someone running a business and you assume that their business is successful. And because you assume that their business is successful, you would say that they are further than you in their business development. But further is really relevant to where you are as an individual. So just as we cannot compare processes, hey Jocelyn, you cannot compare and saying that I should be further in comparison with someone else's vision, in comparison with someone else's purpose, in comparison, hey Angie, hey Kimberly, with someone else's purpose. Because to measure your progress based on someone else is to sabotage your own progress. I'm going to say that again. To measure your success, to measure your the things that you are doing in comparison to someone else's success means to sabotage your own progress. Because thank you Angie, when you look at someone else and you look at what they are doing what is relevant to their particular process. Because that is relevant to their process, it does not mean that it's relevant, Jocelyn, to your process. It does not mean, Lisa, that it's relevant to your process. So you cannot compare processes and say because someone is doing this, it means that they are further in life than you are. It means that they are further in purpose than you are. It means that they are further in development than you are. Because if you compare processes, you really sabotage, hey Lakeisha, your own process. So further must be relevant to your dreams. Further must be relevant to your processes. I'm just sharing with them, Lakeisha, that sometimes we say that I should be further in my life, or I should have accomplished more things, or I should be further along in this process. But what defines that further that you are comparing yourself to? Is it that you are looking at someone else's process and determining that you are not where you are because you see someone else looking like they are further than you. And when you compare processes, it means then that you now sabotage, Angie, your own process. You sabotage, future coach, your own progress by looking at someone else's process. Lisa says, I'm struggling with this because I'm realizing that my expectations for my life aren't what God wants. Exactly, because our expectations really are set up by looking at other people. Sometimes we expect certain things by looking at what other people are manifesting. So we compare processes and we say that I should be further because Sarah is further. Sarah is doing this. But who says that Sarah is further? You are just seeing the outside of my development, right? You are just seeing something that appears to you to be further, but who says that I'm really further? I am in my process just as you are in your process. But every time you compare processes, you sabotage your progress. Somebody say that for me. Every time I compare processes, I sabotage my progress. I'm going to say it one more time. Every time I compare processes, I sabotage my progress because I'm looking at Lisa's process. I'm looking at Jocelyn's process. I'm looking at Lady Latrell's process, and I'm comparing my process to hers. But because I am in my own journey, I cannot compare being further in my life to someone else's process. Right? Now the second thing, yes, every time I compare processes, I sabotage my progress. Thank you, Queen Reese, for putting that up. Because I want you to get that right today. And we're talking about how habits create structure and structure creates success, right? And this is why I say A plus B equals C, because habits create structure and structure creates success. You cannot manifest success without first having a particular habit. And you cannot manifest structure without having a number of habits which create structure, and structure now creates success. How can I say I want to be successful when I don't have successful habits? Then I will not manifest success because I am not starting with habits which create structure, and structure which creates success. And a lot of people ask, they ask, how do I create structure for my life, Krisha? How do I begin to get structure? You just have to get structure. There is no step-by-step way. It's just like people say, how do I begin to change my life? You just begin to change your life. You make a decision. And after you make a decision, you take deliberate steps of action to manifest a certain thing. But some of us as believers, we think because we have gotten a prophetic word, we think because we have gotten a promise that it will just automatically manifest. So God promises that He would bless you. So you just believe that you do not have to cooperate with your process in order for you to access that which is already yours. Think about this. You have to just do it, Lakeisha. Think about this. If I have an inheritance, right? Thank you, Mark Brown, for inviting followers. If I have an inheritance, the inheritance is not mine until I possess the inheritance. So the inheritance exists. I am promised this inheritance. But my inheritance means nothing if I don't possess it. It's just like the promised land. The promised land was already there. But the children of Israel, it took them 40 years to get what was already promised because they had to partner with the promise. So the promise already exists. Thank you, Queen Reese, for inviting followers. The promise is already there, but the promise is just waiting for you to partner with it to possess it. So I must partner with my promise to possess it. If I do not partner with my promise is still there, but it does not mean that I actually access that promise. So because there are all these great things that God has assigned for you to do, it doesn't mean that you're going to do it. I must partner with my promise to possess it. I must partner with my process and my promise to possess it. So when I begin to partner, Sherry, when I begin to partner with my promise, then I can possess it, but my promise is already there. So it means then that I must take some deliberate steps of action in order to possess my promise. A partnership means that I cooperate, right, with the process to possess my promise. It takes your deliberate cooperation, and it takes you setting things up in order to possess it. A lot of people don't like structure in their lives, and I'm hitting structure hard today because habit plus structure equals a successful life. You need to have structure in order to manifest success. You cannot manifest success if you have deadly habits. And I teach this in my mastermind group, which Angie is a part of, and we talk about having a structure for your day. But structure, that's right, Angie, I must partner with my promise to possess it. Structure is not relative to somebody else's life. Here we're going back to comparing processes. And this is why in my new book, I talk about how to experience success on your terms. Because we have to stop comparing success. We have to stop comparing processes. We have to stop looking at other people's life and saying, I should be further because so and so is here. I should be further because such and such is doing this. You should not be further. You have to worry about your process and your progress and your promise and cooperating with your promise so that you can possess it. So A plus B equals C, right? So if A plus B equals C, then in order for me to have the success, it must start with habits. If I want to manifest something, there are certain ingredients that go towards the manifestation. If I'm baking a cake, the cake has ingredients. The cake has flour, the cake has butter, the cake has sugar, the cake has some raising agent. The cake has different elements to have the finished product. So if I want to manifest success in my life, and this is success on your own terms, not success in comparison to somebody else's process. So success on my own terms means then that I must have certain ingredients to manifest this success. So my habits, what are my habits? Now time, people say time is money, but time is not money, time is precious. And because time is precious, it means then that I invest in time instead of spending time. Think about it. Anything that I spend, I cannot get back. It leaves me. So if I spend time, it means that time now leaves me and I don't have the ability to regain that time I just spent. But we must change our language and so to change our programming. If I invest time, when you invest in something, you expect to get returns out of that thing that you've invested in. Therefore, if I invest time, I am going to see the results of the time in which I've invested. Now we're going back to the structure and looking at our day, right? And your successful day blueprint, which I teach about in the growth worksheets, right? So my successful day blueprint means that it is the success that I want to manifest for my life. Now, in order for me to have a successful life, it means that I must first have a successful day. Can we begin at point number 1? A plus B equals C. Can we begin with A and start having a successful day? Jocelyn says sometimes we tend to measure our success by other people's expectations for us. Absolutely. Future says she's got to watch the replay. Okay, no problem. So I was saying, can we just get at having a successful day before we get to having a successful life? Can we start at point A before trying to get to Z? So first, let us focus on having a successful day. And focusing on a successful day means that, for example, I'm going to give you an example of what a successful day may look like so that you can design your own successful day. If I get up at 6 o'clock and then I'm going to do half an hour devotion and I'm going to prepare breakfast and then I'm going to leave for work. You probably are working from 9 to 5. So 9 to 5 means that you are investing your energy into your work. Time and energy are two of your most precious resources that you cannot redeem, right? So time and resources are the most precious things that you have to use. Therefore, you must look at how you are managing your time and your resources. So because time is an investment and I'm working from 9 to 5, it means that between 9 to 5, I am doing something for my job and I'm investing into my job, right? Invest in time. Absolutely, Jocelyn. And this is part of my Master Me program, right? This is a little bit of what I teach in terms of mindset. Because once you change your thoughts, you will change your behavior and you will begin to manifest a different life. So from 9 to 5, I'm working, which means I'm investing in my job. So it means then that the only hours that I have to invest in my life is really between 6 to 9. And if I finish my job at 5, let's say I get home at 6, and between, let's say, 6 to 9 before I go to bed. Which means 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 6 hours a day out of 24 hours in my day to invest in me. So therefore, what I do in this 6 hours determine the results that I will have in my life. So if I am constantly bogged down and tired and I'm not investing anything in this 6 hours that I have, remember 9 to 5 I'm on my job. So I'm really investing time there for somebody else to reap the rewards of my investment, right? Hi, Apostle John. Then it means then that when my 6 to 9, for example, in the morning, and my 6 to 9 in the afternoon are the only times that I have to make an investment. And look at the different things that you have to make investments in. Your business, your family, your spiritual life, your resources, your personal life, your community service, your ministry. So you already have 6 hours to invest in 7 areas, right? Just going generally, 7 areas of your life. Then maybe your education, 8 areas. So you have 6 hours to make an investment in about 8 areas of your life to see some results. But then, what do we do with those 6 hours of time? We watch TV. We're on the internet. We're on social media. We're on the phone. We're doing a number of other things and we are spending time. Because when you spend time, right, you are not getting an investment when you spend time. You only get an investment when you invest time. And there are 8 areas of my life that I need to focus on. And these 8 areas need to get an investment out of practically 6 hours. So if I cannot master one day, then how would I be able to master a successful life? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? If you do get it, let me see the hearts, because I see some of you going in and out, so we may be freezing. Let me know if you can still hear me. If you can, please show the hearts. I'm going to give it a couple minutes to make sure that you guys are still with me and you can still hear me. Okay, I see blue hearts, so it means that you guys are still hearing me. Okay, good. I see blue hearts. I see people popping in. Somebody say something so I can know that you are still hearing me and that you're still getting this lesson. Okay, I see peach hearts as well. Okay, and I see lots of blue hearts. Thank you, blue hearts. Okay, good. So I first have to master one day before I can master and manifest a successful life. So I want you guys to begin to look at what you do with your time and how you invest time. If A plus B equals C, and habits plus structure equals the success that I manifest, it means that I must look now at the habits that I have look at the structure that I have in place, and then I begin to manifest success. Do we have any questions? Any questions about anything that I've just said today? Any questions? And if you want to be a part of my mastermind group, I am opening up in the month of April. You have to get your schedule down packed like that. Yes, absolutely. I'm opening up this group in the month of April, so you guys can look out for that. And in the Mastermind group, we talk a lot about mindset. We talk about a lot about structure. Because what is the sense that I know my purpose and I begin to expand in terms of my purpose, yet my life does not have the structure to accommodate my purpose? I must have the structure in place to accommodate that which I carry. I must even prepare for that which I carry. So if I carry this great magnitude of purpose, then what am I doing to sustain that which I carry? You must have the structure in place to carry your purpose, because when you begin to operate and to do and to deliver your purpose message, because we're still talking about I speak finding my voice, it means then that you will not have the structure in place to maintain that which you possess. And that's a dangerous place to be. And this is why we see some people, they start off all great. They start off like a firecracker and they are all bubbly, but they don't have the momentum to sustain them. And they quickly suffer burnout. Why? Because I have approximately 6 hours of my day to invest in 8 areas of my life. And if whichever area I invest the least in is going to be lacking. So sometimes you see some people, they invest so much in ministry that their family life suffers, and you see them go through a divorce, or you see them have troubled children, or you see them having struggling with relationships. It's because our investments have been out of whack. Because if I invest time in my family, it means then that I would reap the rewards of having a whole family. Similarly, if I do not invest any time in me as an individual, then I cannot give out. So if I keep giving, and I'm giving to my job, I'm giving to my family, I'm giving to my children, I'm giving to my church, I'm giving to my community, I'm giving, I now become depleted and I'm not investing anything in me. And if I'm not investing anything in me and I'm depleting me, it means something is going to suffer. Most likely that something is going to be me. And I'm going to crash, and I'm going to burn, and I'm going to explode, because I feel like I have to give to everybody. I feel like I have to freezing, but you can hear me. Okay, let me know. I feel like I have to give to everyone, and I feel like I have to be there for everyone, but then I have nothing to give because I keep giving. So if A plus B equals C, I want you guys to look at your habits, your structure, and then to determine is it still freezing? Your success. So I'm going to reboot it so that we can finish and I can answer any questions if you guys have questions. So I'm going to end this one and restart it because we seem to be freezing, so I can answer any questions about A plus B equals C.